Happy January and Happy New Year. I know it's almost February, so you're sick of the New Year's. Sorry, but this vlog is jumping back to my New Year's in Orlando, Florida, and I wanted to share a few reflections as I take you along. The trajectory of my life drastically changed in 2023, so let's talk about it. It went something like major anxiety to major soul searching, to purpose, to risk-taking, flailing, flopping, and the slow climb back to clarity. We'll talk more about that in a second, but first, we're going to Cocoa Beach.
Stick with me and I will guarantee you'll never lost among the crowd with me. Never lost among the crowd with me. Everywhere you go, I'll be. Anywhere you go, I'll see. You're never lost among the crowd with me.
Hello and welcome to Cocoa Beach. It is New Year's Day. How exciting. Happy New Year's. It is so beautiful today. So for the last couple days, my husband and I have been in Orlando with his parents, so with my in-laws. We've been really enjoying relaxing, vacationing, connecting, which is super special because Cliff's parents live in Canada. We live in Georgia, so we don't get very many opportunities to see them. Over the last couple days, we've just really been hanging out. I mean, we went grocery shopping day one, obviously pretty important. We went to Gatorland yesterday, which is very neat. I feel like I could just stand there for hours and watch the alligators. I really enjoyed being at Gatorland, and I feel like I could have stayed there for hours just like watching the alligators. I mean, they don't always do a lot, but they're just so fascinating. I don't know. I'm a little bit of maybe an animal nerd, but I could just stand there watching them for hours. Anyways, now we are at Cocoa Beach because we wanted to go out. We wanted to see something, and it's such a beautiful day. It would have been a waste to just stay at home. So anyways, everyone else is already at the beach, so let's go join them. As I mentioned, 2023 was a year of drastic changes. But all the changes in 2023 actually started in the end of 2022, when, for the first time in my life, I experienced daily, gut-wrenching anxiety. I remember being flooded with anxiety even before I got to work in the morning. Then being overwhelmed by the mountain of to-dos during the day, and then worrying about the things I'd missed or mistakes I'd made when I got home. My thoughts were chaotic as I tried to ignore the knots in my stomach and just do what I had to do. I tried to push the anxiety down and ignore it. But after this continued a couple months, I knew something had to change. I needed to face these feelings and figure out where they came from. So I started a journaling process called neurocycling. Shout out to Dr. Caroline Leaf. I'll link her stuff below. And over the course of a few weeks, I was able to actually find the source of my anxiety. I realized I felt like I was missing my purpose, like the path I had desired for my life could never be. So I was stuck on a path that I didn't want, even though that path was, quote unquote, a good path. The dissonance this created in my soul was tearing me apart, and I felt like my life had no purpose. Once I realized this, I started asking myself, what do I really want? And what was I made for?
that's when things began to shift.
It is the end of another day. The beach was beautiful. It's amazing to me that even though it is Atlantic coast, just like Myrtle Beach was, the water here was so much more tropical looking, like with the green and the blue tones. It was really, really beautiful. Now, I mean, maybe Myrtle Beach has that sometimes. I really don't know. It was kind of rainy, stormy. Not really stormy, but it had been rainy and very, very windy the day we got there. So maybe that kind of churned things up, and that's why it was more brown. But yeah, the beach here in Cocoa Beach was very different and very, very beautiful. And of course, my mom-in-law and myself had to pick some seashells because you just can't not. I mean, we're those kind of people, I guess. They're just so incredibly beautiful to look at. All the different kinds of colors and designs and uniqueness. It's just, I'm just in awe. Like, wow, God has just made such beautiful things. Anyways, so we had burgers for supper. So good. And now we're just chilling, watching Planet Earth. I would love to give you a tour of the place. I will need to do that in the morning tomorrow because it's dark and everyone else is hanging out over there. So we'll do that in the morning. But for now, I'm just going to get ready for bed and try to go to bed early because tomorrow we are starting a bit earlier and driving to Sarasota, Florida, because apparently there's some cool Amish stuff there, which family back in Manitoba suggested to my in-laws. So we're going to go there. Maybe we'll see the Gulf Beach and just have some more adventures. Well, good morning. It's the next day and we are heading out to Sarasota right now. We already had breakfast, finished cleaning up and all that good stuff, and everyone's waiting for me on the vehicle. So I need to go, but I do want to quickly show you around the place so that you know where we're staying. So this is where everything happens. Obviously, kitchen is pretty important. Then we have our dining room with coloring book and some games. Here's the living room. A very lovely scene out here with boats docked in the back, and there is a barbecue on the porch that we have enjoyed using. And in the quiet times in the evenings, Mom and I have been working on this puzzle, which has been super fun. We're so close to being done. And then if we turn back around this way, Mom and Dad's room is in there. Cliff and I have been staying in here. And then on this side is the door to the garage. So that's where I'm gonna go.
Sunny day, take me down to Culver Lake, take me back to yesterday, 'cause that's where I belong. On a rainy day, take me to that old cafe, we'll watch the teardrops.
Well, we've arrived in Sarasota and we found an Amish store. So we're gonna go inside and see what they got. This is Yoder's Fresh Market.
Oh, oh, how to write a song. You know how to sing along. You take me back to
So the Amish area of Sarasota was kind of interesting, but was definitely less than I was expecting. I was thinking we would see fields, farms, gardens, horses and buggies, but it was just a little residential area. There were Amish and Mennonite-looking people there, and the Amish rode bicycles, so that was kind of interesting. But yeah, not too much going on. Anyway, They had some baked goods and homemade crafts, and the ice cream and pizza we had for lunch was pretty tasty. After that, we headed towards the beach. All right, back to story time. So I figured out the source of my anxiety beginning of 2023, but there wasn't an immediate change because I still had no clue what I was supposed to do about that. All I knew was that the path I was currently on was not aligned with who God made me to be and with the desires He put in my heart. So I needed to figure out a different path. And this is where it gets so crazy to me because of how the path gets revealed. Because as I took a step forward, soon enough, the next step, the next piece of the puzzle would always be revealed. Whether it was a conversation with someone, a sermon at church, or my own Bible time, the next revelation always came exactly when I needed it. And slowly, the anxiety faded, and I had more and more hope for the future. Then, one day in the spring, it became clear to me that it was time to quit my job. So I discussed it with my boss, and we made a plan as to when my last day would be. That was a huge change and made me excited and nervous all at the same time. And to top it off, the next day my landlord called me, giving us notice that we had to move out in a couple months. When I heard that, it definitely felt like a blow. But that quickly turned into faith because it seemed to me that God was actually opening the doors for us. With no job and us needing to move, we literally could go anywhere and do anything at that point. And don't worry, we have a great relationship with our previous landlord. It wasn't for any bad reason that we needed to move out. So, all of a sudden, everything was going to change. I was leaving my job, and we needed to move, and we had 2 big trips to Canada planned for the summer, and it was just a lot. And there were definitely times that I felt anxious about it all. How was it going to work out? I didn't know. But I reminded myself of how God had led, how He had brought the pieces together, and that if He brought us to it, He'll bring us through it. So I worked my last day, June 12th, and came home to pursue YouTube and invest in my home and family. And while it was exciting and I was super grateful for that change, I also had a very difficult time adjusting to managing my own schedule. I wasted way more time than I would like to admit, and I found myself craving distractions. I never thought I was one to be addicted to my phone, but it was pretty bad. Being home full-time opened up a whole slew of insecurities and limiting beliefs that I then got to deal with, which has been challenging, obviously. It's not really comfortable or fun, but it's been good for my soul. And I'm a much more stable, peaceful, confident person now because of it. Looking at the new year ahead, I was excited to be over the hurdles of the last year and to gain some momentum, especially after such a long, chill Christmas vacation. I was ready to come home and get back to work.
Good morning. It is the next day. It is actually our last day here in Florida, in Orlando. So it's a little sad, but it'll be really good, honestly, to be back home and to get back into work in the swing of things, because it's been a lot of vacationing this Christmas, New Year's season. But, anyways, this morning, my mother in law and myself, we spent some time looking through all of the seashells that we gathered yesterday and dividing up which ones were hers and which ones were mine. Yesterday at the beach in Sarasota, we spent a lot of time just looking at seashells, hunting for different specific kinds, big spiral shells. They're so beautiful. Like the seashells there were way more plentiful and I think prettier than the ones at Cocoa Beach. They I just love it. I just love it so much. The light, pale purples, pinks, oranges, and just that whole mix of colors. I just love it. Anyways, I got quite a few, and I'm looking forward to making some kind of craft with it, because how else will I be able to enjoy the beauty of the seashells if I don't make some kind of craft with it? Anyways, yeah, today we fly home in the afternoon. We're going to have to leave here around 3. So in the meantime, my mother-in-law and I wanted to go thrift shopping and then, I don't know, come home, have lunch, basically pack up our stuff and get to the airport. It's going to be pretty chill day. Honestly, it's been pretty chill this whole time. And I think on the plane home, I'm going to take some time to journal and reflect. That's something I've been wanting to do. I haven't really sat down and reflected over, 2023 and looking at future goals for 2024. Haven't really slowed down enough to do that. So I think I'll do some of that on the plane. But for right now, we're just going to enjoy ourselves. So let's go to the thrift shop.
Yeah.
All right, now we're back from the thrift shop. I got just a couple of things. A lot of my thrift shopping lately has been very, very neutral. So keeping with the neutral theme, I got this nude colored undershirt, and then we got another brown beige kind of long sleeve. Got a pair of nude flip-flops that honestly, they look totally brand new, which is great. I have a black pair and now I have a nude pair. And then we got 2 belts. This is a braided belt, which I love because then you can put it as tight as you need. Instead of a belt that has just specific holes, this one, you can poke the hole in wherever you need it, so you can be as loose or tight as you need. And then, for fun, we got this snakeskin belt, which I kind of want to put on right now. Because the belt that I have is leather braided, but it's like that warm orangish reddish leather color, and it obviously did not match this, so I wasn't wearing a belt. But now, I have one that matches absolutely perfectly. I think that looks really sweet. Now that we've done that, it is time to make lunch, and then we gotta pack everything. We have to repack everything into smaller bags because we actually drove down with Cliff's parents and we are going to fly back. We got a cheap flight with Frontier, but you only have a very small personal bag that you're allowed to bring. So yeah, so we need to repack some stuff, and then Cliff's parents, when they drive back up, they're gonna bring the rest of our stuff. In the meantime, we gotta figure out what we are gonna bring on the plane, what we don't need for, 2 days until they get to our place, and should be fun.
Okay, maybe this will sound weird, but one thing I was super excited about with coming back home was to start using my new paper planner. Yes, besides all the spiritual and emotional growth, on a completely practical note, I have discovered once and for all that I am a paper planner girl. I tried the computer planner thing using Notion like all the other cool vloggers, but you know what? That just didn't work for me. So in December, I finally set myself up for success by getting a paper planner. That way, I could get all the things out of my head onto a page without the risk of getting distracted on my devices. That one thing alone has increased my productivity by at least 30%. And that basically brings us to the present. It's 2024, and with Paper Planner in hand, I have way more clarity and confidence about my goals and schedule, which we will dive into in a future video. So stick around if you want to see that. And with that, thank you so much for coming along with me for a little Orlando vlog and 2023 reflections. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a like and leave a comment below with something that stuck out to you. I always love hearing your thoughts. And if you want to see more of my content, feel free to subscribe. With that, I wish you the best rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you in another video real soon.